CBS News political director and Face the Nation moderator John Dickerson is in Washington. John, we want to talk about that Supreme Court nomination. But first this, how dangerous and risky is this developing tension over the immigration ban, even from within the Trump administration?
Well, dangerous and risky, I don't know. I mean, the danger would come from overseas. So, for example, John McCain said that the ban was propaganda for ISIS, and in Margaret's report, you have State Department officials saying that, agreeing with that. So that's where the danger comes in, is to the extent that this sets up a religious fight between a Christian United States and Muslims. But in terms of internally inside the administration, Donald Trump gets to fire his Attorney General if the acting Attorney General won't enact or won't carry out the laws. That's not that's significant, though, because even though it's within his rights to do that, it's a central question of the new actions he's taking. What fealty is he owed because he's the president, and what do people do who believe that what he's doing goes against their values?
But beyond the comparisons to the Saturday Night Massacre in 1973 and the firing of the acting Attorney General, I think, too, what we were talking about this morning is you have reports now that the Homeland Security Secretary John Kelly left out of the loop. The current Defense Secretary, General Mattis, incensed over this. Rex Tillerson, the incoming Secretary of State, also upset about this. The turmoil, perhaps, with even inside his own cabinet.
Right. So that's different. You're right. What you have is a policy-making process in which chaos may be a perfectly fine byproduct for an administration that's come in and wants to thoroughly disrupt things. But the problem is, in all of those examples you mentioned, people now have to look over their shoulders. There are also reports that work was done with Republicans on the Hill without those Republican staffers telling their bosses, which just creates a culture in which everybody thinks they're going to be countermanded, or there's going to be an end run made around them. Or now, if you read the papers with some of the quotes about various administration officials, people have to worry about being thrown under the bus for unpopular opinions. So everybody is suspicious, and that makes it hard to get work done.
And it looks improvisational.
It looks improvisational, but looking improvisational and having improvisation may be a feature and not a bug. And that's one of the things we're trying to learn about the Trump administration. Certainly Donald Trump has thrived in chaos throughout his whole career. And so creating improvisational chaos may not be something that he personally is that upset about, but it does create a nervousness and a frustration in other parts of Washington.
What do you make of President Obama speaking up? He had said before he left office, John, that he would not speak up unless he felt that the core values were at stake. We're now 10 days in, and he has released a statement. What does that say to you?
I talked to a former Obama administration senior official and said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how nervous are you about what the Trump administration is doing? And they said 12. So this represents a view within a lot of the former Obama officials as well. But if the Trump administration wants to make this a political fight, not about a question of values, but a question about left versus right, they're happy to have the president in the fight.
John, do we assume either the two possibilities for nomination at the Supreme Court will meet with satisfaction, not only among Trump's core supporters, the president's core supporters, but also the Republican Party?
Absolutely. And that's why if you see any split between the president and Republicans on this question of the travel ban, that will be knit back together by the fact that they will be supportive of his Supreme Court pick.
Good point.
John? Yeah, good point. Thank you, John.